With hundreds of thousands of calories stored in their belly, why are fat people ever hungry? Have you ever wondered why a fat person would ever be hungry? Why would a person who has thousands of dollars worth of groceries stored in their fat ever get hungry at all? Why don't they just use the fat on their body for energy and stop eating? In this video, I'm going to talk about why fat people are hungry and what they can do to control their appetite, maybe for the first time in their life. Did you know you could live off the fat you've saved and retire from being hungry all the time? The problem is this huge bank account of energy that we call body fat is locked up. People who are fat are actually rich in energy, but many of them don't know it because they're always hungry and often tired. They have a big fat bank account of stored food locked up around their belly and their butt and their chins. But for some reason, they can't make a withdrawal on that account. This stolen wealth of fuel is the problem for most heavy people. They have a huge bank account of stored fat, but they stay hungry all the time. They have many hundreds of thousands of calories banked away that could keep them fed and satisfied for a long time. Yet they can't make a withdrawal on this fortune. They don't have access to the account number, so to speak. And without this access, the First National Bank of Belly Fat will not let them make a withdrawal on their fortune. Something has locked up their vault. Something has taken their fortune. Something has taken all their groceries and their health and their happiness too, stealing their wealth and preventing them from making a withdrawal from their own fat belly account. That's something. That thief is chronically high insulin levels. This constantly high insulin level is like a thief. It takes your food and locks it away where you can't get it, in your belly and your butt and your chins. And like a thief, as long as it has control, you're locked out of your bank of belly fat account. So if you're fat, you're actually rich in energy, but you can't use your riches. And that fat belly, your huge belly fat fortune, has thousands of dollars worth of groceries in it. To understand how insulin acts like a thief, stealing your fat energy account, let's look at the work of famous diabetes scientist George F. Cahill, who studied human starvation. This is one of his papers. In this paper, he gives some eye-opening figures. He found that a 154-pound man, so a fairly trim man, about 70 kilos, had 26 pounds of fat, even though he's very trim, about 12 kilos of fat. That normal weight person had 26 pounds of fat on their body, and that fat amounted to 110,000 calories. It's enough calories to keep that man alive for 1.5 to 2 months without eating a single bite of food. In my last video, I estimated that a person who was 100 pounds overweight would have over 300,000 calories worth of fat in their bank of belly fat account. But sorry, folks, I was way low in that estimate. A person with an extra 100 pounds actually has way more than 300,000 calories in their fat account. If we take George Cahill's numbers from that study and we divide 110,000 calories by 26.4555 pounds, which is equal to 12 kilograms, we come up with a number that each pound is 4,158 calories per pound. And for those of you outside the United States, that would be 9,167 calories per kilogram. And if we multiply 100 pounds by 4,158 calories, we get a whopping 415,792 calories. So the person with an extra 100 pounds has 415,792 calories in their bank of belly fat account. Again, I asked AI, how much would 415,792 calories be worth if we bought it all in hamburger? And it came to $2,460. And all that money, $2,460, is locked up in their big belly shopping cart. If you can imagine that a 154-pound person could live 1.5 to 2 months on his fat, how long could a person with an extra 276 pounds live on their fat belly account? We really don't have to guess too much on how long a very fat person could live on all that fat, because there's an actual experiment that was done in 1965 that gives us an answer. Angus Barbieri, a 27-year-old Scottish man, fasted for 382 days, over a year, about 13 months without a bite to eat. He started June 1st, 1965, and ended June 30th, 1966. He lost an astonishing 276 pounds. He started at 456 pounds, and at the end of his fast, he was 180 pounds. He did this under medical supervision and only had water, tea, vitamins, and electrolytes. A study that was written about his fast was called Features of a Successful Therapeutic Fast of 382 Days Duration. Angus Barbieri holds the world record for the longest fast, 382 days, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. And Angus Barbieri's 276 pounds of fat would be over 1,147,608 calories of fat deposited in his bank of belly fat account. Folks, 1,147,608 calories of hamburger would be worth close to $6,773 of groceries. That's an absolutely amazingly high number. And here's a question you have to ask yourself if you think about this, folks. And I really want you to think about this. If 286 pounds of fat has enough energy to keep a person alive for over a year without eating, why are fat people ever freaking hungry? If that fat belly has all that energy, why do fat people ever get hungry? We can get the answer to that question from Cahill's work too. Cahill found the answer to that question a long time ago. As the body is in a fed state, a state of being where there's food being eaten, and insulin levels are high, then your body uses blood sugar made from food for energy. And in this fed state, your insulin is higher. When insulin is higher, the body stores fat, and the releasing of fat is shut down. The body is either burning mostly sugar from food or in what we call the fed state, or it's burning mostly fat and stored glycogen in what we call the fasted state. When you eat a meal, especially a meal with carbohydrates, you cause your entire body to switch over to burning sugar for several hours. This sugar is made from the food that you ate. If you have normal insulin function, somewhere around 2 hours after eating, the insulin goes down and you return to the fasted state. You start using those calories you just ate for energy until your next meal. If you're insulin resistant, and you are insulin resistant if you have a big belly, this chart shows you the higher the body fat, the higher the fasting insulin. The bigger the belly, the higher the fasting insulin level. People with a normal insulin level are back down to fasting level insulin in 2 hours. But if you have high insulin, and you do if you're big around the middle, then you might not be back down to fasting insulin for 4 to 5 hours after eating, or even longer. Maybe never switching back to fat burning if you snack between meals. If you have a normal insulin response, the process of storing calories as fat reverses within 2 to 3 hours of eating. First, your liver and your muscles and even your fat cells increasingly switch from using blood sugar to using stored food or fat for fuel. As that insulin level goes down, more and more fat is released for fuel. By 8 to 10 hours after eating, half the energy your muscles are using is coming from fat instead of blood sugar. After about 10 hours or so, the levels of fat being released for energy dramatically increase as the body increasingly switches to using fat for energy. Insulin starts to go down around 3 to 5 hours after you eat. Of course, the time depends on how insulin resistant you are. A little later, 10 to 13 hours after you eat, insulin goes down some more. George Cahill learned that circulating blood sugar provides only a very short-term fuel supply, only about 1 hour or less. And if the body likes to hold on to sugar stored as glycogen for an emergency, and if the body likes to store protein for a rainy day, and folks, all these things are true, by the way, then the only real source of food your body has without eating more food is body fat. Now, if that fat is locked up because of high insulin levels, constant eating and snacking, then you have to find a way to fuel your body. In other words, you'll be hungry and tired. Because even though the body has hundreds of thousands of calories stored in your belly, you can't access it. So the body tells you to eat. It makes you hungry to supply its immediate energy needs. George Cahill found starvation, or going without food, what we would call fasting, is your body's way of switching from blood sugar for fuel to using body fat for fuel. Cahill said, insulin serves as the body's signal for the fed or fasted state. Folks, high insulin levels turn on the fed state and tell your body to store food as fat. Low insulin levels turn on the fasted state and tell your body to use fat as fuel. When you're eating, and it doesn't matter much what you're eating, because all eating raises insulin levels. The body is in a fed state. And while in this fed state, and this lasts for hours after you eat, your body is using blood sugar made from food or glucose. Energy being released from fat is greatly reduced or even stopped during this fed state. Listen, your body is designed to live off fat in the absence of food. If you want to get rid of body fat, you have to do what you were designed to do. You have to go without food for periods of time. And to get this process started, you don't have to go without food for days on end, although you could. The process of switching to fat can be done on a regular basis, even daily. Fat is there to be used when you don't eat or can't eat. The problem for the fat person is this: if your body can't burn fat because of high insulin, it only has about enough sugar to fuel it for about an hour. Where is the body supposed to get energy to continue living? The answer is really simple. Your body makes you hungry. It forces you to find something quick to stuff in your mouth. High insulin is why the hugely fat person is still hungry. So their body is stealing their energy and leaving them hungry between meals. Then they do the worst possible thing. They have a snack or they eat more food to make up for this energy loss and cause their insulin levels to last even longer and rise even higher. Even some of you on a carnivore diet are doing this too. You're eating several times a day thinking the carnivore food itself is the magic of losing weight loss. Like that delicious meat is a freebie and you can eat all you want without consequence. But nothing is further from the truth than this. Any eating is just keeping you in the higher insulin zone. Just look at this graph. Fat people have higher insulin levels both before and after eating. Now, what can you do about this? How do you get out of this awful situation? Your body is waiting for the signal that food is not available. That's what it's waiting for. What is that signal? As I've said, a low insulin level is that signal. As soon as you give your body that signal, it will start releasing the fat. Folks, it just will. How do you send your body the signal to release the fat? There's two main ways to do it. You can fast, or I guess you could literally starve, which is not sustainable, and that'll send the signal. Or you can eat a low-calorie diet, which is not very sustainable long-term. Or you can eat low-carbohydrate foods like carnivore, and that will send the signal. But the best way is to combine the two. Eat low-carb or carnivore and fast. The carnivore diet is an imitation of fasting or even starving. In real starvation, insulin is low because there isn't any calories at all. The carnivore diet imitates starvation by keeping your insulin lower. That's why eating a carnivore diet completely controls your appetite. It's not magic, folks. You're not hungry between meals because the fat in your big belly is feeding you. Your belly fat is the best food. It's the food you are designed to live on. Your new lack of hunger is coming from your own groceries. Those 400,000 calories in your belly being burned for fuel. When you experience this complete appetite control, you should not eat for many, many, many hours. You won't struggle with this either. Fasting becomes easy because your body is living on fat, living on your own fat. And folks, let me prove it to you before we end this video. 13 hours after eating your last meal, your body starts rapidly producing ketones. Ketones are little molecules made from fat that your body can quickly burn for energy. These fatty acids and these ketones are the food your body has been waiting for. This fat, your own belly fat, is the huge bank account of food that's been stolen from you by high insulin. Now, before we go, let me tell you once again about the Keto-Mojo meter. Within a few minutes, you can indirectly test your insulin levels. I say indirectly because the Keto-Mojo doesn't test actual insulin levels, but it does test the two processes insulin controls: your blood glucose and your blood ketones. If glucose is down, insulin is down. If ketones are up, insulin is down. You can test and see where you're at. Either your diet and fasting program are lowering your insulin or they're not. If you find out your program is not lowering your insulin after you test, then you can get to work fixing it. It's a simple test. All you have to do is divide your glucose number by your ketone number, and the number you come up with needs to be below 80. The lower below 80 on the Dr. Boz ratio, the more weight loss. For those of you outside the United States, you can use the glucose ketone index, or the GKI. Try to get your ratio below 4.44 on the GKI. And here's a little conversion chart to show you the difference between Dr. Boz ratio and the GKI. For more on that, watch this video. So let's answer the question I asked at the beginning of this video. Why are fat people ever hungry? The answer is high insulin. Why am I not losing weight? The answer is probably your insulin is still too high. How do I find out how high my insulin is? Test with a Keto-Mojo meter. Now, folks, if you're losing weight steady, you don't need to test. Your insulin's coming down. If you're losing weight, your insulin's coming down. If you're not, you should get a test and find out how high it is and work to get that down. The most important question you should answer when trying to lose weight is this: am I reducing my insulin or not? Folks, reduce your insulin resistance. Regain control of your bank of belly fat account. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to this video if it's helped you. Thank you, folks. Goodbye.